She slid the envelope across the table during breakfast, its beige surface brushing against the side of my steaming coffee cup. Without a word, she took a sip from her latte, her gaze fixed firmly on mine, calm, unwavering, and unreadable. As I picked up the envelope and pulled out the contents, she watched with the kind of stillness that made the air feel heavier. What I held in my hands was not just paper, it was her decision. A divorce filing. The words were clinical, irreconcilable differences. Her name was already signed in confident strokes, bold and final. She didn't flinch. Her calm demeanor felt rehearsed, like she'd gone over this moment in her mind 100 times. I looked up, searching her face for something, an explanation, a sign of doubt, but all I found was a quiet certainty. A sharp pain spread through my chest, not from anger, not yet, but from the dull, bitter sting of not having seen it coming. 8 years. 8 years of living side by side, and this was all she left me with, legal forms and silence. That morning, she walked out without a single word. No farewell. No look back. It was as though everything we'd built had been a passing scene in a longer story she no longer wanted to finish. We weren't perfect, but we were real. I remember how it started, late nights in grad school, poring over textbooks and strategy decks, eating takeout from the same tired restaurants. We dreamed big, and we built it all together. A business. A home. Habits that filled our days with rhythm and familiarity. I used to watch her sleep sometimes, memorizing the way her breath slowed in the dark. Her laughter once broke up the silence like music I never thought I'd lose. But somehow along the way, it began to disappear. She started staying late at the office. Her phone, once left casually around, now lived behind a lock screen. The changes were gradual, small red flags I ignored because I loved her too much to see the truth. I clung to the picture I had of us, convinced it was still real. That illusion lasted until the first undeniable crack appeared, on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were the one day I always made it home early. But that afternoon, the house was quiet. Empty. Her phone was still sitting on the kitchen counter, an unusual mistake. A crack in her careful pattern. I probably shouldn't have looked, but curiosity got the better of me. A notification lit up her phone screen. Last night was worth it, followed by a heart emoji. No sender's name, just those 6 words that shattered my reality. My hands trembled, but I kept quiet when she walked through the door. She greeted me with a kiss, acting like everything was normal, and I returned it, pretending I was still clueless. That night, everything shifted. I wasn't her partner anymore. I became something else, hardened by betrayal. I moved carefully, digging through her call history and syncing her email to an old tablet I'd hidden away. Her careless mistakes fueled my investigation. She'd assumed I'd never suspect a thing. There were dinner reservations for 2, receipts she claimed were for business, and a hidden email account under her maiden name. Every clue led to him. He was a client, older, wealthy, married, with a yacht moored in Naples. She was already planning her escape, convinced I was blind to it all. But I never confronted her. That would have been too straightforward. Instead, I watched closely, studying his patterns and her daily habits. She believed she was fooling me, but I was the one pulling the strings. For 4 months, I methodically plotted her downfall. I traced the money she'd secretly diverted from our company and rerouted it through a new LLC I set up in my own name. She never caught on, too distracted by the affair to notice my moves. I hired a private investigator who collected photos, hotel bills, emails, solid proof that could destroy her. Behind the scenes, I consulted a lawyer and transferred ownership of the business to myself, using her careless signatures against her. When she handed me those divorce papers, she had unknowingly signed away her stake in everything we built. The showdown happened 6 weeks later at her favorite rooftop bar, glass walls, overpriced cocktails. She thought we were there to discuss an amicable separation. I showed up in a sharp black suit. She wore red, her usual armor of confidence. I slid a thick folder across the table. Pictures, financial audits, a complete dossier of her deception. "I know everything," I said calmly, my words sharp. She reached for her wine glass but froze, her hand shaking. I laid out the terms. I kept the business, the house, the assets. She walked away with nothing, or I exposed everything to the world. The choice was hers. She let out a brittle laugh before nodding. I left without another word. The silence said more than I ever could. After that, she disappeared, wiped her digital traces, fled the city, erased from the company and my life. I thought it was over. Then, last Friday night, there was a knock at my door. When I opened it, she stood there, drenched from the rain, eyes hollow, clutching an envelope. "I need to tell you something," she whispered, barely audible. I looked at her like a ghost. I took the letter, maybe an apology, maybe not, but I didn't open it. I closed the door silently. Revenge isn't loud or explosive, not how most imagine it, full of anger and chaos. True revenge is quiet and calculated. It's giving someone every chance to fix things, then watching them fail. I didn't ruin her. She gave me all the pieces. I just lit the fuse and walked away. Betrayal reveals who you are, and who you'll never become again. She stole my trust. I claimed everything else. And when she came back, I returned the same farewell she once gave me.